Hello.
Good evening. Good
Good evening.
morning.
Good morning. Good evening. It doesn't matter where you guys are. We are broadcasting from the U.S. So for us, it's still morning time. But for you guys in Pakistan or whatever you are, good evening.
Good evening for all.
So this is a webinar to explain a little bit about how to migrate to the U.S., how to migrate to other countries, the ways you can have to find the ways you can get a green card or maybe a visa to live in the US. Let me introduce, I have here Renata Ferlich. Renata Ferlich is one of our business developers, director of our company for 3 years, uh, really specialized in green cards. And we have here Luis Franca, also our uh, business developer. And let me add here our CEO, Mr. Leonardo Freitas, our CEO, chairman, and I think the most important person in immigration in the world. He knows about global mobility. He lives this lifestyle. So please, Leo, Mr. Freitas, welcome and thank you for joining us.
All right, perfect. Good to be here. It's an amazing opportunity to be speaking with all of you tonight. So I think it's one of the rare opportunities that we have to talk about the uniqueness of the work that we do to the good folks from Pakistan. Uh, as we all know, the reality of today's global mobility scenario is very different from what it was on a pre-pandemic levels. And nowadays, a lot of people are trying to move to a different country or establish themselves. And the United States has continued to be a beacon of destination available for many people, excuse me, many people around the world to come to the US. And because of that, there are uh, many options available in terms of immigration that is not widely known for many folks, and therefore, we have quite a few options that are available for those who want to immigrate to the United States. So, uh, one of the many options that exists in the U.S. for people who want to immigrate without a sponsor, without the need of a sponsor to come to the U.S., would be that a green card is available for anyone who possesses either a advanced degree, that would be an academic advanced degree which is similar to a master's degree in the United States, or somebody who has a bachelor's degree with 5 years post baccalaureate experience. And similar to that, somebody who would have an exceptional ability, which would be a uh, degree of expertise in a specific field. Person who has at least 10 years of experience in that field, even though they don't have a uh, academic credentials, they would have experience in the field, and it would be widely recognized by his or her peers, and this would be quite unique for sure. So also a person that would be coming under that category, a person would be definitely coming in to do something that has substantial merit. Has this endeavor would have to be also of national importance. The person has to prove that they are well positioned or well prepared to continue that endeavor in the United States, as well as uh, a person has to prove that it would be of the interest of the United States to waive the requirement of a labor certification process, and thus the job offer requirements that usually accompanies these types of petitions. So that's really what the majority of people are applying, and this similarly to neighboring countries like yours in Pakistan will be Indian, and in that case also China. Um, you are not subject to certain caps because of there are many people applying from Pakistan, and these are green cards which are immediately available to you um, if you are a citizen or national born in Pakistan. So that's something that's really unique about this green card. It's not something that is impossible to obtain, but it's also it does require a number of types of petitions and evidence that should be gathered in conjunction with the help of a experienced attorney, which will guide you through the process throughout that. So I see we have Khalid here from Pakistan as well. He's here on live. Thank you for joining, Khalid, um, and all the others that are joining in. So let me explain also the process of obtaining a EB2 national interest waiver green card. So usually it starts with a academic evaluation of uh, of the individual who is uh, seeking to enter the United States in um uh, as a person with a second preference. And notwithstanding, that person will also be going through what's needed is a thorough evaluation of their background and work history, which will basically serve as a basis for the professional or business plan of what their intent is to come to the United States. And that usually is something that is done with either a business plan forming, and also with it could be also added with several support letters, as well as an expert opinion letter based on their uh, their work history and the evidence provided by support letters and accolades in somebody's resume. So usually that starts with that, with the gathering the evidence that proves all the work history, all the accolades of everybody working in with that person. So that's usually how it started. So let me see here if we have any questions on the chat yet. Um, okay. No, not yet. So, so moving on, we have also a number of other options available for those who do not necessarily plan to come to the United States and uh, to permanently live in the U.S. There are options available for those who want to temporarily come to the U.S. and have work, temporary work in U.S., which are visas that are available for people who are either multinational managers or people who are being recruited for a specific position in the U.S., like an H-1B, which is also a visa available. So there are many aspects out there that are available and options to you. So if Everton or Lewis or Renata like to ask of some of the mostly common questions that they have, it
Sure, Leo. The question is for everyone to understand what would be the criteria to get a green card. So, education level, time of experience, uh, bachelor degree technicians if they are able. So in order
Could you
to,
repeat that because of your audio for me to? Okay.
yeah, my computer is broken. My connection is not really good. But the question is, what are the criteria? Education level, uh, if a technician can get a green card, or time of experience. What are the main criteria to get a green card?
So basically, it is important to remember that regardless of the fact that somebody may or may not have a degree or may not have um, a significant work experience, the specifically the national interest waiver is available to everyone, right? Um, and there's also not restrictive to those who are in in a specific um, uh, sorry, audio here. Just one second. Sorry. Those who are in a specific profession. So it is not limited to a specific profession. It is actually widely available to anybody in any profession. We have cases approved, green card delivered in many walks of life. We have people who work in finance, people who work in engineering, um, doctors, physical therapists, dentists, engineers. Architects. We even have even horse trainers and musicians. So we have a wide spectrum available of the types of profession. But what's not to say that it is important to match the information uh, between you know what the person's past experience and academic history exist, uh, plus what they intend to do in the U.S. So it really depends on what your endeavor is, your proposed endeavor, what you intend to do in the U.S. So a lot of people think it's related to their profession, when in fact that's not the case. When in fact is mostly related to your proposed endeavor. But you got to remember is that the past experience and somewhat also some part of the academics, plus your proposed endeavor is the connection that needs to be made, so that to prove that you're well positioned, that means that you have the experience necessary to make that endeavor happen. It could be through a business plan or of opening a company. So that's where usually people get very confused. So then, just for me to explain a little bit more clearly in terms of the national interest waiver, um, is the national interest waiver is a type of visa, permanent resident visa. That's a green card for those who do not know. That's been around since the late 90s, 1996 to be precise, and that 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 kind of green card uh, in the past was usually granted to scientists and people with scholastic achievements, uh, with uh, a lot of articles that were published, scientific journals and things like that. That was in the past. Then in 2016, something happened. There was a new decision based on an appeal that was given to Dr. Danisar. And Dr. Danisar um, basically appealed his decision on a petition for a national interest waiver green card, which basically generated this precedent that a person coming to the United States needs to prove that what they have in terms of a purpose to come to the U.S. has substantial merit is of national importance, and the person is well positioned to um, continue their purpose in the U.S., and that the U.S. will benefit significantly from this person's experience by waiving the requirement of the job offer. So that was the gist of it, of the Danasar decision. And then once that happened, then the interpretation for entrepreneurs, for people of various types of background, that made a very huge difference in terms of what this decision opened up for opportunities for many people around the world to come to the U.S. And for the folks in Pakistan right now, I would say that and I see this based on data that is available from USCIS, and as a former immigration officer myself, there are not a lot of Pakistani citizens that apply for EB2 national interest waiver, which for me is quite surprising, because there are many people in Pakistan that do qualify for it, and because they either have the work experience, they have the academic accolades, things like that, which will allow for a significantly more number of Pakistanis applying to this type of visa. So there's a question here from Umer. How do one know that his work is of national interest? That's a great question, Umar. I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, and forgive me if I am. So basically, the substantial merit and national importance of the national interest of the United States is based on a few things. So you either bringing some sort of new work methodology that is unique to you, and you're either bringing employment to the U.S. by opening your company. So a lot of entrepreneurial endeavors get approvals really fast. So by opening your company in the U.S., you would be proving that you're promoting employment, and you also satisfy the third criteria of the three-pronged Danasar standard, which is to prove that there is a significant type of I would say urgency of your work in the U.S., but also it also allows for the interpretation of the fact that as an entrepreneur, you cannot self-sponsor yourself because you cannot do a labor certification for yourself. So there is something called the impracticality of obtaining a labor certification. So there you go.
So one good question, Leo, that everybody asks for us all the time is, how can I understand that I will be able to find a job in the United States before I come? That's really related to the B2, because they think they needed a sponsor. You just explained that they don't need it, but
yes. So there's no need of a sponsor or a job for that matter. So basically, you can come in without a job offer, and you can absolutely, after you get the green card, then you can search for a job. But then you already got the green card. So it's kind of that old proverb, the chicken and the egg. The government gives you the chicken before you can hatch the egg. So they give you the green card with the hopes that you would be coming to the United States to basically do some work in the U.S. based on your accolades and your work experience and your proposed endeavor. Go ahead, Fernando.
And Leo, there is time to do that. Nothing happens from day to night with immigration. So there is time between the period that you have your green card approved, and by the time you have to be in America in order to pursue a new career, there's more than enough time for you to do that. So it's not like nothing happens in a flash. It takes a few months, of maybe a few years. So you do have time to look for the job.
Yeah, I mean, most importantly is this. Let's even presume that everybody is going to go for premium processing. And for those who don't understand what premium processing is a fee that you pay to the government of $2,500, which allows the government to, within 45 days, adjudicate your case, and then you have the answer that you're looking for. You know that you've been approved, and then you are able to know that your visa is available. Your visa is approved, and then you just go for the embassy in Karachi, and then basically go for an interview, and then you come with your immigrant visa with your family members. It's available to all family members that are direct family members, meaning children and spouses that are, it's available to a single spouse. I'm sorry. So the person has a single spouse and minor children under 21. Once they get their green card it stays with them. So that's basically the process of obtaining the green card through an EB-2. So I have a question here from Naymat. Naymat asks, he's an MBA graduate with 10 years post qualification. I'm going to show this question here. So 10 years experience in the field of finance, currently working for the federal government in Pakistan. Am I eligible for an EB-2 visa? So by the sheer fact that you have an MBA which is an advanced degree, and you have the 10 years post-qualification experience, you already qualify for the second preference, which is the EB-2. Now, for you to qualify for the national interest waiver, that on itself requires further investigation in terms of what is it that you intend to come to the U.S. and work in. Are you coming in as a professional plan or as an entrepreneur? What are you trying to do? So Everton, you raise your hand there. So.
No, Leo, I was going to ask you exactly that. How to connect the three prongs to explain to them how to get the national interest waiver. That's exactly the point.
So to get the three prongs of Danasar, which is the next phase of okay, you do qualify for the second preference. You are an EB-2 person, great. So you have, Naymat has the prerequisites of the EB-2. So then what he would need to do, being in the field of finance, he would either have to, open a company, have a business plan, with that providing consultancy services in the field of finance, and that would be to start with, that would be something that he would be coming in to promote employment, or because he would open a company, the intent is to promote employment, but it also would be something that it is feasible and viable for somebody that has that kind of qualification. And we got a lot of cases approved exactly the way Mr. Naymat has mentioned here. So let's go on for another question here. Let's say here another question from Khalid. I had an H-1B that expired in 2017. Would that be a plus if my case is submitted for a green card? So Khalid, the answer to that question is there's no correlation with the fact that you had an H-1B with your eligibility for a green card, because if you could have no visa and be eligible for a green card. Even if you don't have tourist visa to come to the U.S. You would be likely, if you have the right requisite, you get your green card approved. So the fact that you had an H-1B played no role, but the fact that you had an H-1B tells me and my team that you have some qualifications in terms of professional experience and academics, which were granted to you through that H-1B. So that is an indication to me that you very likely have the principal requirements of that. So that's usually the way it goes. So
Mr. Mustafa has a very good question over there.
Let me see here, Mr. Mustafa. Okay, Mr. Said Mustafa. Hi, I'm currently employed as a 1099 and a foreign national not living in the U.S. Would that be of any help? Yes, absolutely, Mr. Mustafa. So if you are employed as a 1099 and you have employment through consultancy agreement as a contractor with someone in U.S., that person can either do that entity or that individual that employs you basically can do one of two things. They can either sponsor you for a EB2 green card through a sponsorship, or an EB3 if you don't have the academics, or you can, in fact, apply for an EB2 national interest waiver, demonstrated that your skills and your expertise are needed because you have people in the U.S. that are actually requiring that need, requiring that the expertise that you have. So you can demonstrate that a U.S. employer has that need, but also you have to demonstrate that your expertise goes beyond just that usage for one employer. You have to show that it can be widely used and you'll be widely influenced in your field, which is something that can be done without much issue. So that's usually what I have. Let's see here.
Narayan.
Okay. I'm 51 years old, and I am a commerce graduate from Karachi, Pakistan, recently working as a supply chain administrator in the DRC. Very, very common. People who graduated in one particular field and actually work in another. This is very common. And it's not that difficult for dissimilar to many cases that we have here. But you have to keep in mind that you can graduate with some college degree in some area and then have 5 years or more experience in different fields or a different field. But also you have to keep in mind that you need to prove that what you're bringing to the U.S. is either innovation or STEM related, meaning science, technology, engineering, and math, or you're bringing promoting employment, or you have a unique methodology that is only yours, or that you have developed at least, or that you have enhanced someone else's methodology, and things like that. So there's a number of ways to do it. And remember, we got 50,000 green cards approved. We're the only law firm in the world that actually has that. Is able to claim that, because that's verifiable information, and it's public information that we've gotten 50,000 green cards approved. Go ahead, Renata. Oh, by the way, Narayan, your age or anybody's age is of no relevance to an application of any kind in the U.S. You can be 81 years old, 90 years old, and you're still going to be able to get a green card. It's irrespective of your age, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, my comment was about the degree. My degree was in computer science, and my AB2 and IW was based on entrepreneurship. I was opening a business here in America, job creation and business creation, and my degree is in business computer science. So what Leo was saying is exactly that. You have to prove that you have an intention to the U.S. You want a job creation or business creation, and that was my intent. And my background, my academic background, is in computer science.
So Faraz here is a lawyer practicing since 2014. So again, we've done many NIWs for and EB1As, extraordinary ability, for many lawyers and people who've been practicing for quite some time, and even from people who've been practicing within 5 to 6 years as well. We were able to obtain their green card. So it's not that dissimilar of the many cases that we've had. So it is definitely an option. Okay, but the fact that people have visitor visas is absolutely no relevance for a green card. The only thing that tells us that that is good, the fact that you have a visitor visa, a B1, B2 visa, is the fact that you don't have any bars to come to the U.S. You're not a person who is inadmissible to the U.S. because you never lied on a visa application, or you have never committed a crime, and you're satisfied the requirements in terms of national security. So that is usually the way it goes. So let's see here. I have another question here. I'm a construction professional with 24 years experience with a master's in engineering. This is perfect. This is STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. Great prospect. Great prospect. Do I have prospect of getting a green card for me and my family, my work experience? I cannot see your name because your name is not spelled out, but whoever it is and wrote this question, very likely, very likely, you do possess the requirements for a national interest waiver green card. Absolutely, without the need of a sponsor for you to obtain a green card. So I think that's if you want to contact us, I mean, everybody who's asked the question here, welcome to contact us through our email or through our social media, through our links on our website. Feel free to contact us at any time, and we'll be glad to. And it's also good if you can send us, when you contact us, send us your resume, your CV, so that we can already have that by the time we schedule your free consultation. Remember, the initial consultation is totally free. Send us your resume so that we can actually analyze your background before we even meet with you. So that way we can know exactly what are the steps there. So let's go for this other question here. So Farham, from Pakistan as well. So 5 years experience plus engineer in 5 years experience in air ticketing field. Can apply for a green card with that experience. Yes, very likely, because you have 5 years experience. So I'd like to know your degree though, so that we can combine this a little bit better in order for us to make a proper plan to ascertain whether or not you are eligible for that. So it's good for us to schedule one of those free consultations that I was just talking about, so that you can talk to an attorney and explain to an attorney of ours that what is the what is your chances in terms of obtaining that green card. So let me see here. Neymat has another question here. Neymat is really active. I like that. If I was to form an e-commerce consultancy company, show my enterprise in US, which minimum capital would require? Rough guess. So there's no minimum capital required for an EB2 NIW. Obviously, with this type of application, if you're trying to prove that you're well positioned by showing that you have some capital, obviously, the more the better. But there's no fine line in terms of, okay, I have to have 100,000, 200,000, a million. There's no fine line. It has to be something to show that you at least are starting from absolute zero. But sometimes we don't even require the investment to be materialized per se, because some people would only want to invest once the green card is approved, which is like I was saying in the first part of this webinar, a lot of people don't know that, but they will give you the green card based on your plans, not on something that you've already executed in the U.S. So that's that's usually uh, a way to go. So okay. Next question here. I am a chartered accountant working as a CFO in a financial institution. Ali, you have a great background, I'm sure. Congrats on your accomplishments. Uh, I don't think that somebody with that kind of background has necessarily a passport problem or a green card problem. So unless I'm missing something, I think a chief financial officer and a chartered accountant with a degree either in economics or accounting, uh, working as a CFO in a financial institution, nonetheless, I don't think you necessarily have a passport problem. So feel free to send us a copy of your resume, and so that we can take a look and ascertain your chances. Go ahead, Everton.
Mr. Freitas, I would like to explain to them that every single client, we are going to provide to them a full assessment of their eligibility before we sign a deal. So we have our lawyers to understand, to make an assessment. You have to pass through a compliance procedure. So sending us the resumes is very important, so we can give you an opinion if you might be eligible or not. So and it's a free consultation. Thank you, Leo.
So yeah, we have here Omer. Omer is a software engineer with 10 years experience. That falls right there in the STEM category. So it's fast approvals for STEM. Definitely, you fall within that category. There was an executive order by President Biden that made this happen to incentivize STEM candidates to come to the U.S., get their green cards through the national interest waiver, and be able to work and bring their families with them. So there's definitely some weight on your case for sure. I don't see a reason why not to. There's a substantial need for software engineers like yourself in the U.S. I mean, as a company, we just been through this process ourselves when we were developing our own systems back then. So we've been through that. I mean, and it was difficult to find people that were qualified. We finally found it, but yeah, it took a little while, and I'm sure many companies out in the U.S. have the similar issues to prove their to prove ground and to develop their systems. Financial institutions, hospitality. The thing is that manufacturing. This is endless. Definitely. Omer, send me a note, and I'll be glad to take a look at your case. Go ahead, Everton. You raise your hand.
Yes, if you could please explain a little bit to them to relate the STEM advantages and what is a bright outlook. That's something that I think it's important. We have many occupations in the U.S. that booming. Maybe we have in our audience here people from some bright outlook occupations.
So bright outlook. It basically. By the way, I just posted on the comments there the email address. I'm going to put it here for you. There you go. That's the email address you should send your resumes or your request for a consultation. So it's right there on your screen. So by all means, if you want to send them now, take advantage that we have people standing by to take on your questions. So that'll be great. So there you go. So the question you had was about was about Bright Outlook, right? So Bright Outlook are professions that are currently in demand in the U.S. So we have everything from uh, flight attendants, pilots, physical therapists, nurses, uh, personal trainers. We have, obviously STEM professions, business administration, engineering, anybody with mathematics, human resources. Uh, uh, there are several. This is endless. You can go. You can go put in your search engine over there and go for BLS, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Put BLS Bright Outlook, and then you're going to find a number of professions out there in the BLS Bright Outlook website that will allow you to for search for yours, and you're going to see if there's a sun, a little sun, a yellow sun right there. That means that your occupation is Bright Outlook. But remember, it's not only about the occupation and what you do for a living. It's about a mix of what you've done in the past and what you intend to do in the future in the U.S. Those two things have to be bridged by your professional or business plan and to come to the U.S. Let me take this question here. Louis, if you want to take Mr. Farhan's contact email address there, so you're going to contact them as well. So here you guys can go to our website as well. Here's a website that will basically basically look at the possibilities. You can go through a filter there, and then you can start knowing your possibilities. So, and did you took that down, Louis? His contact information. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I cannot see his email over here.
So it's right here. So I'm gonna.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Let me take a picture.
Yep. Take a picture. Let's take it down so we don't. It's privacy. Yep. Okay. All right. So let me show this here. Person says, I'm 50 years old, got my master's degree in English with literature. That's very good, very impressive. With 20 years of teaching experience. Besides that, I can invest and can form my LLC and start my business. Prospect and liabilities, please. So, Mr. Mujeb, first of all, it is an honor to be talking to you. My mother is a teacher, so it is I have the highest respect for educators. My grandmother was a teacher, so and she was teaching until the age of 89, to be honest. So very proud of that. So people in education that would want to come to the United States and would want to contribute to the education growth in the U.S. are more than welcome. The difficulty that and when you say liability, so say the difficulty that educators usually have is to prove that their contribution will be only unique for that particular learning institution, or that one college, that one university, that one school. So usually educators will be better off by starting their own company, their own LLC, of say perhaps launching a educational software, and that would be something that would be unique and will be of your own, and you will be something that you can try without having the fear to fail, because then the government will say, okay, he's going to try to promote employment if he's successful with his proposed educational software, and then goes from there. So I mean, it's a plan. Now, are you stuck with that plan? No. What happens if you cannot come together and put this together for what happens if something doesn't come to fruition? fruition. So there's no requirement in the statutes that it will make you obligated to be successful in your endeavor, but you have to at least show that you had good faith in trying and putting this together by opening your LLC and demonstrating that you at least took at least the initial steps that you try to do. It would be something that you need to prove. And you had some correspondence with people to gauge their interests, but again, you are under no obligation to be successful in what you do. I personally think that somebody who has a master's degree in English literature and 20 years of teaching experience has a lot to contribute to the United States and to any country for that matter. So once again, commend you on your career, and we look forward to hearing from you. So if you can contact us, we'll be glad to make an assessment in your case, sir. Thank you very much for participating. One thing that it's important to mention is the fact that these two areas here, internal auditing and compliance, is also in high demand in the United States, which is something that a lot of people don't know, but it is definitely in high demand. So Con here wants to establish an LLC for tax-related consultancy. Definitely the way to go. Absolutely good idea. Tax consultancy in the U.S., especially, and cross-border tax consultancy, no less, is extremely complex, and a lot of people need it. With the amount of people that deal with these compliance and Sarbanes-Oxley's and other types of compliance, anti-money laundering, and tax compliance worldwide, with many jurisdictions, with people doing business in multiple locations around the world, that's definitely a way to go. So I think it's absolutely positively a good idea. And as I see here, you have a certificate of fraud examiner for the 16 years education in Pakistan. So definitely a very good profile, and I think it's worth us exploring this further. Okay. Let me see if there's any other question here that I missed. So there was a question here by Mr. Said. I have 7 years experience as a bridge painter in Dubai, and also have a LTV driving license. So that kind of profile could be useful for companies that are currently recruiting for truck drivers in the US. Now, in this case, when an employer would be doing the recruitment, all the costs associated with your visa application must be borne by the employer. So therefore, the employer is the one who needs to contact us to recruit you, and then they will pay us for that. But that usually is, with this kind of background, that's usually what we recommend, is that you seek employment with one of the many companies out there who are seeking truck drivers, which is in shortage in the U.S., which will be then a way for you to come to the United States. Okay, so we're coming to the last 10 minutes of our we have here of our live here. Let me see. Sorry. So we have here Mr. Rizwan, that possessed 16 years degree in economics. Wow, that's good. With 14 years experience, that is mixed office assistants, warehousing, HR, cash payrolls, government. 40 years of age. Like I said before, your age makes no difference whatsoever in your ability to obtain a green card, and also somebody with this kind of background, again, doesn't necessarily have a passport or visa problem. So send us your resume, contact us for a consultation. I'm going to put up again the email address for you to be able to send your requests. That's consult@hw.law. At consult@hw.law. Feel free to send us a note or contact us through our social media, and then we'll be glad to assist you with that. We have currently a special going on for Pakistani citizens who want to take advantage of our services. So please contact us, and then we'll be absolutely glad to take a look at it. Renata or Louis or Everton, you have any final considerations you would like to make?
Ladies first.
I was just going to thank you for the opportunity, and I hope I'm part of your immigration journey, like my peers were in mine. It is not an impossible thing to do. When I first started looking for ways to remain in America legally, because I had a business here, I was lucky enough to come across Mr. Freitas at the time. I did not know the possibilities. I did not know the options. I only thought I would either have to marry an American person or spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, which they do exist, but there are many other ways. And I was very lucky to come across the possibilities. I'm here today. I have been in America for 6 years legally, working with my green card, and I hope I'm part of your journey too. Thank you.
Great considerations.
I can just quickly. I can say I think for all of us, everybody over here are here today because of HAYMAN-WOODWARD.
Exactly.
We
did not know these options existed until Mr. Freitas came up. Not came up. He did not invent anything. He just brought it to our attention. He just made it public, and we're very grateful to him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would like to say that I'm also a former client. I have my green card for almost right now 6 years. I had the great. I think it was a gift to meet Mr. Freitas. I didn't know what to do, and he said that I was eligible for the green card, and here I am. So working for him, it's a pleasure, it's an honor. And Leo, tell them a little bit about your experience, what you did working.
So I'm a former DHS officer. Worked with immigration for 15 years. I founded HAYMAN-WOODWARD in 1996. Yesterday we celebrated 27 years of experience. I left HAYMAN-WOODWARD for a little while I was working for the government, and then now back, since 2015, back at the helm of the company I founded in 1996. Happy to bring my expertise to the attorneys. We have a team of attorneys. We are over 300 strong all over the world. We have offices in Dubai. We have offices in Shanghai. We have offices in Brazil, US, London, Lisbon, Portugal. So we're basically all over the place, and we are ready to assist you. For one thing that I want to say is I want to thank everybody for participating in the webinar. The typical green card process can take anywhere between 8 to 18 months, but you can shorten that by paying the premium processing fee to the government. That you can shorten that considerably, a matter of months, a few months, by getting the approval within 45 days, and then you can then proceed to get your immigrant visa and your consulate. If you are in the United States and the visa is current in the visa bulletin, you can then apply for adjustment of status if you're in the U.S. for longer than 90 days at the time that you apply. For those who have had the misfortune of getting your tourist visa denied, we understand that. We do not handle tourist visas, but we understand that most tourist visas do get denied because of the fact that they may find evidence that you're trying to immigrate, or they may find that your ties to your home country or country of habitual residence is not so strong. Thank you all again for participating. We look forward to hearing from you. Whether if you are a person of human resources or engineering, STEM, people in finance like here, like Nazim, we are ready to listen to you at any time. Once again, you can go to our website, HAYMAN-WOODWARD.law, and Discover Your Possibilities is the link where you're going to go. It's a way for you to obtain some more information. Thank everybody for participating.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful evening. Take care.